I like the old one. All right, we'll get started here. Okay, well, let's see here. Okay, well, welcome to this week's Strategy, Tech, and Food show. This is Jonathan Banks. I'm sitting here with David Howard from Bento Box. We're going to have a nice conversation about Bento Box today and talk about how that technology is helping restaurateurs and many others in the hospitality industry right now. But first, before we get into that, we just want to talk a little bit about what's been going on in the restaurant scene here in the Twin Cities and across the nation. So once again, welcome to the Strategy, Tech, and Food Show. This is the restaurant-focused technology show where we talk with leading industry stakeholders and restaurant operators themselves. This show is brought to you by the St. Paul Restaurant Resiliency Program. I'm Jonathan Banks, and in just a few moments, we're going to get to David Howard from Bento Box. But before that, let's talk about some news. So we currently have over 50 restaurants in the St. Paul Restaurant Resiliency Program. We've been helping restaurant owners there take advantage of digital marketing, ordering, and delivery expertise and resources to help make the changes they need to make throughout the pandemic and everything else that is really impacting the restaurant industry these days. Just a little bit of local news from the program. We do want to mention that there's going to be a big feature in Twin Cities Startup Week coming up here in September. We're going to be showing some of the partnership that we've had between Land O'Lakes and restaurants in the programs there at Twin Cities Startup Week. So please make sure you look to attend that. I think our date is going to be September 24th, and there'll be more information available at next.co. Check all the socials to learn more about that. Also, we're nearing the end of our engagement with two restaurants, Hamburguesas El Gordo and Caribou. They've both been provided with their recommendations from the Land O'Lakes team, and those, professional volunteers are working with those groups to make sure that they can really take advantage of digital marketing, ordering, and delivery resources. So big congrats to those restaurants and also the team who's been working with them from Land O'Lakes. A little bit of other local news here. So first of all, a big congratulations we want to offer to our friends over to our friends over at let's see here. Sorry, just missing. To our friends over at Soul Bowl. I was like, Gerard. To our friends at Soul Bowl. They've opened a new restaurant in Richfield. So they have a new location in Richfield that's been opened up. They opened up last week. So please check out Soul Bowl Richfield. They're going to bring their, soul fusion cuisine to Richfield, another location to get Soul Bowl. That's a great place. Also, we wanted to draw your attention to Central Northeast Eat and Drink. That's opened just a week ago. It's a place in Northeast where you can go to really get a taste of what eating in Northeast is like. And so you have some food from the hospitality group behind Bad Waitress, the Morrissey Hospitality Group. And there's just lots to check out there. So please go ahead, look up Central Northeast Eat and Drink. Okay, well, we've hit up some news here. I think that's some good highlights before we really jump into the conversation with David. Let's bring David into the conversation. David is joining us from Bento Box. How are you doing today, David?
I'm fantastic. Thank you so much for having me. Very honored to be here.
Well, it's great to have you here. We know that Bento Box is a hospitality-focused website design platform
Mhm.
that empowers restaurants to own their own presence, profits, and relationships. And we know that you're the only platform that has a full in-house setup and white glove service, offering website design, commission-free direct online ordering, e-commerce, gift cards, merchandise, ticket sales, catering, events, management, and even more than that. Thanks so much for joining us, David.
Yeah, thank you so much. Excited, like I said, excited to be here.
Yeah, we're excited to hear some more about you and some more about Bento Box as well. Um, when restaurateurs come to work with you, operators come to work with you, what's the problem that they usually have?
Uh, you know what? That's a great question. It actually relates a little bit back to sort of how I even originally got my start, like intro to Bento Box. So I'm a
Okay.
former catering events chef manager. I used to live and work in the restaurant industry for many years, and I worked at this little catering cafe. And the owner of that cafe was your typical, great product. Had an amazing, menu, but she struggled with technology. She
Mhm.
was sort of stuck in her ways. And through that experience, we were able to find a solution that was able to improve her online presence, increase her direct online ordering, improve her catering revenue, and even help with events management. And Bento Box was the partner that helped this little small business. And so I kind of learned
Okay.
that from firsthand what that was like. And that's what we solve for, is that we want small businesses to not feel like technology is this challenge. It should be the thing that can make your business grow and expand.
Got you. So, in your experience, you became a fan of the product so much you went to work for the company. Is
That's
that
a little bit of a a different route to get there, but yeah, eventually once I found, I was looking for a new spot. I was like, why don't I go to the place whose product that I believed in myself and see if I can get a job here? And here I am. So
wow, wow. So we know it's really busy, for operator, especially if you're, maybe you're involved in the kitchen, you're involved back of the house, you're involved in operations, selling, doing sales and marketing and all those sorts of things. Implementing new technology can be a huge burden. But is this more of a technical problem, or do you think this is more of a time problem? Like, what would be the one biggest issue that you're resolving for somebody maybe who owns 1 to 4 restaurants or operates 1 to 4 restaurants? What's the real pain that you're going to take away from them?
um, you know what? I think it's really every business, every restaurant, whether you're small like mom and pop, all the way up to the big hospitality groups, they all have their individual challenge. And so I think what Bento Box is going to do is we're going to take the time to get to know your business, and we're going to ask you the right questions to understand what your specific challenges are. And then we're going to present to you the tools that are going to most benefit your challenges that you're facing. So I know
Mhm.
that felt like a bit of a dodge, but it's
Nah.
not. It's intended to be like, we're going to figure out where you're struggling, and if it's marketing, if it's increasing your online ordering, if it's improving your online presence, if it's increasing your catering revenue, those are the tools that we can provide for you, and it can be customized based on your specific business model.
Yeah, I get all that. I think it's kind of one of those things when you're got to kind of stand back and look
Yeah.
at the big picture to be able to see, like, oh, maybe if I just change this piece over here, that would make everything else, happen easier
Yeah,
or better,
but to,
right?
to maybe get to your question a little bit more direct, the two I think biggest challenges that I find restaurants facing is time,
Mm.
because everybody's short-staffed, everybody's struggling, as restaurants are reopening. So you want to be able to have a solution that is going to be easy to use, and then also um, people didn't go into the restaurant industry. Chefs and general managers didn't go into the restaurant industry to be technologists and
Right.
designers and all of that kind of stuff, right? They came to provide hospitality for their guests. So
Mhm.
we want to be the technology that elevates the interaction between restaurants and their guests. Restaurants' mission is hospitality. Our mission is to help you with that hospitality.
I love it. I love it. One of the things we talk about next is being a good stakeholder in the mission of, the operator or the mission of the company that you're working with. It sounds like you're an awesome stakeholder in the mission of restaurateurs, providing that hospitality. So that's really exciting. Do you have any maybe some use cases or any solutions that you've provided to these problems? Maybe if you had something to show us, that would be cool too. But I would love to hear how you go about solving these problems.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm gonna share my screen for just a second, and I
Sure.
want to give you an idea of a focus that Bento Box is really highlighting right now, and it's the idea of being. Let's see, get my screen up here. Let me know if you guys can see this.
Yep, it's here.
Can you see that?
Definitely.
That little GIF running. All right. So this idea is that we want to be an all-in-one platform solution for all of our restaurants. So instead of using all of these separate tools to meet your needs, we're going to meet you where you are. So whether that be needing a website for your online, to improve your online presence, whether that be commission-free direct online ordering and delivery, catering, merchandise, and even events management, all of these tools are going to be the thing that solves like a restaurant's needs. So the 4 pillars that I talked about is website design, commission-free online ordering, 24/7 e-commerce, and events management. Those, I think, are the 4 major products that Bento Box can help Bread. So custom-built websites that highlight your brand. This is a great example. You talked about like the impact that Bento Box can make in the area. I pulled this because I wanted you to see this is the Minneapolis, St. Paul area, and these are all restaurants that are using some form of Bento Box product. That might be a website. That might be a online ordering tool, so it's lots of variety just in your area. And that's just a small little snapshot of the 7,000 plus restaurant partners that we work with globally. So commission-free online ordering, using all of the resources to get your customers to go in here and capture that information.
Yeah, that was a big thing. That was a big thing earlier on in the pandemic was, and it still is. I think maybe the hype has gone down about it, but the whole fees that were associated with online ordering and delivery. What are you all doing differently with fees?
That there are none. From everything that Bento Box does is built into our platform. So the pricing is very transparent, and depending on what program you get. So it's all subscription based. But as far as like the online orders themselves, instead of it being a 20% commission, 30% commission on every order, the restaurant gets 100% direct online orders through their website, through their Google business page, and those orders are commission free. And depending on how you manage that, you need a delivery partner, we'll provide you an option for delivery if you don't have your own delivery staff. We can help you with marketing even within this online ordering campaign too.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. So, and then you mentioned another pillar. Let's go on and talk about some of the other pillars that are in place.
Yeah, absolutely. So, online ordering being a huge one, and I could literally spend probably this 15 minutes just talking about online ordering, but knowing that like restaurants are reopening and that they need to focus on dine-in guests a little bit more and kind of expand that opportunity.
Sure.
So from there, we want your website to also capture revenue when you're not open. So think about the idea of your website being a 24-hour money-making machine. So, generate your high margin revenue while you're asleep through catering, merchandise, gift cards. Have somebody who loved that experience go to your website, buy a digital gift card for their grandson, their granddaughter, and say, hey, I ate at that great restaurant. Go, capture revenue at all times. So whether that be your catering or your events. And then the other one is that I love and that is super, super exciting is, I don't know about you, I'm ready to be like back live and in person and like attending events again. So restaurants have been starved of that for a long time. That's a huge revenue stream for restaurants is, being able to do a bachelor party or a wedding or something like that, And so restaurants are excited about that, but the tools and technology to manage that, what we hear is one of the number one like challenge for time for restaurants, for event managers is I get an inquiry and then I spend 4 days back and forth trying to figure out how to manage that. Well, our website will turn an inquiry into a booked paid event all in one system. So from the customer experience to the back end. And so events management is a huge pillar that we're really excited to introduce to our customers too.
Well, I know there's dedicated people in some restaurants that just work on turning those event proposals around, right? And so this is could be a huge help from a technology standpoint. All of
Yeah,
it.
and just to like give a little bit of like perspective on this, just a little sneak peek of what this tool would look like. These are things that the event managers want. They want more repeat business. They want more upfront revenue. They want increased efficiencies. Let's meet them. Let's provide them that tool that they need. So, as you see, you go into your back end. I submit a detailed catering inquiry. Well, as an event manager, I convert that very quickly into an event. I track my events. I know exactly who's gotten the proposal, who hasn't, built that menu, send it out, create it, send the proposal. In that proposal, I'm going to capture that payment instead as well. So instead of calling them up and saying, hey, can I get your credit card in this unsecure way? Secure payment directly through your website for events management, just as easy as an online ordering or a takeout menu is concerned. Secure, all of those things are great. And then built in the idea of communication too, customer loyalty, automatic reminders to remind them that these events are coming. So, I could go on about this forever, but these are all like tools that are not just specific to being a website. It's all those things that are built into it that makes it the one all-in-one platform to meet the needs where the customers are.
Wow. So that event, it's kind of like pipeline management for events, right?
Yeah.
That's really unique. And one of the things that I really love about this is that you're finding other ways to expand sources of revenue, right? You're
Mm-hmm.
finding this is a great example of, okay, well, this is another way that an operator can have a revenue stream that isn't dependent on maybe people walking through the door or what's happening with COVID that week. We can still try to have this other um, revenue available for us in that way. So that's just really great. I love to hear that. Um, can you talk to us a little bit about how people usually feel once they've worked with you during the experience? What's that like?
Yeah, customer feedback is super important to us, and because we are a subscription-based service, we have to earn your customer loyalty month to month. So that's very important to us, and we have our customer service team available to all of our restaurants. But I think the best way to answer that question is, instead of me just telling you what that is, why don't you hear some real quotes for some customers? So look what I prepared, some actual customer feedback and quotes.
I
You
love it.
led me
That's
very
great.
well into that, my friend.
Yeah.
This is a perfect example of one of our restaurant partners, Taco Bamba Taqueria. This is a prime example of a catering events manager, large scale catering partner, who the time that they would spend from getting a event inquiry all the way to having that event done, she said she would spend hours and hours going with all of this back and forth. So, you can see the quote herself, that it was easy to use, it was easy to manage, and they were able to figure out the tools and technology in less than an hour. And their revenue stream just exploded as they were able to turn this into that tool. So, I mean, that's just one example of one particular product, but these are some other great quotes from customers specifically regarding online ordering. Bento Box has been a boon to what we do, increasing sales, trimming labor, becoming more profitable. This is a restaurant who completely tripled their online ordering sales during the pandemic using Bento Box's online ordering technology. The website itself, this is a small business owner, Rocky Ramen. They went from having a Facebook page as their website to all of a sudden increasing their traffic both in their restaurant and online by incredible margins. And then also just the idea of customer loyalty. So I thought that was a better way to show what our customers are saying than just me telling you.
I love these. Well, and I think one of the testimonials that we have here that was really interesting was just the being able to expand during the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
which is something a lot of restaurants were actually able to do. And it took what we saw consistently was that it took loyalty from customers to be able to have that expansion. Not only the loyalty, but then you also needed to have the technology to make it happen, right? To let people know that you're open, you're available, what's the best way to order from you, what
Yeah.
if you have a full menu, if you can come do carry out, if it's delivery, all of those things are so important. Just the reminder that your restaurant was open was a huge thing, and that's where this web technology really can be helpful.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, restaurants have had to pivot, and are still continuing to have to pivot every single day with as regulations and rules change. So they should be able to focus on their customers, and they just need the tools that they're going to be able to set them up to succeed. But then also, when they need to pivot, they need a partner who's going to be able to meet them where they are, and is going to be able to pivot with them. And that's also where we want to be, is to meet them in the moment.
Well, there's going to be a lot of moments coming up here. I just want to see maybe how Bento Box is thinking about, with the resurgence of COVID and the Delta variant, putting some more pressure on indoor dining and things of that nature. Does Bento Box have anything in the works to maybe provide some extra tools or assistance, or maybe a new tact to kind of really take care of that, or do you feel like you're pretty settled with the approach that you have now?
Well, I think I love that question, and I think it's that we're prepared with the tools that we have right now to help a restaurant pivot at any moment. So we know and recognize that we have a suite of tools that every restaurant partner might not use. And me as a Bento Box representative, I'm never going to try to encourage somebody to use a tool that isn't valuable to them. So, we've had partners who have been with us for years who maybe when they just started with us, that's all they needed was that really clean and simple website. And that was meeting their needs in the moment. Well, COVID hit, and they all of a sudden went from losing, all indoor dining, and they needed to transition to do online ordering. We were there to help them to develop that tool. We've even had some partners who, now that their restaurants have reopened, they used our online ordering in that peak time, and now they're using our dine-in features to help the return to indoor dining. They're short-staffed. They need, they don't have, their waiters there to take those orders. That same online ordering technology has pivoted to QR code-based online ordering using that same tool. So now, if indoor dining, I hope not, ends up, slowing down, we're going to be there again to help that restaurant pivot back to their online ordering, improve their sales, figure out a way for events management to continue forward. So, yeah, I think we're pretty well set up to help a restaurant pivot in whatever direction they're going to go. Yeah.
Okay, I mean that's helpful. And when that pivot happens, do you see operators reaching out to you to say, "Hey, we need to change something," or are you reaching out to the operators and say, something's a little off right here, maybe we should think about pivoting?
Are you talking about like specific, like our customers that we currently have, or like
customers like your current partners?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's a combination of both. We try really hard to, because the suite and the back end, for lack of a better term, is very intuitive and very easy to use. There's always the ability for any restaurant partner, when they need it, to just click a button and reach out for that support from customer service. But we also have, all of our restaurant partners have these account managers that are constantly reviewing their business and looking for opportunities to improve. And so it really is, I personally like the term partner instead of the term customer. And that's really, I think that's one of the things that sets us apart, is that we are a partner for restaurants. And so we're looking for opportunities to grow your business, and we'll pitch them to you. And if you think, guess what, that's not it, well, oh well, no harm. This is your business. We're here to meet you in the moment.
Yep. We say the same thing here, right? I think we have a lot of similarities in our companies, I'm finding through this conversation. But at Next, we are your partner in delivering a superb customer experience, right? We see your customer as our customer, and our job here is to be the best partner we can be for you to deliver that experience to them. And that's what we've been doing in the St. Paul Restaurant Resiliency Program. Bento Box has been a big asset to the program. We know that we saw plenty of St. Paul restaurants are on the platform. We hope that more St. Paul restaurants are able to take advantage of all the great things that you talked to us about here today. I really appreciate you coming on with us today, David. What's
pleasure.
The best way for folks to get a hold of you?
we're just mind melding today. This just worked out so perfectly. Look how that worked out. That's the best way to get a hold of me is just my email address. So I'm David Howard, davidhoward@getbento.com. Absolutely excited to be an advisor to anybody who's interested. I specifically was reading through some of your past partners, like success stories, and I noticed that there was a restaurant called the Snack Chat Networking Lounge who had partnered with them. I did like a little bit of quick study up on them and noticed how like beautiful their website is. And since they started with us, they've launched online ordering and added a new concept, and they're really, really growing. So that's just like a recent success story that from somebody that you had told us about. That I was excited to read about and see their growth too.
Well, shout out to Tamara. She's awesome over there. And I could say a little bit about her story. She was really busy, super busy, and to be able to get this done and to be able to take advantage of it, like you said, time is probably the biggest problem you solve, and that's something that got solved for her. And then all those other great things on top of it. So I really appreciate you coming here, David. Let's make sure you keep in touch. Come back and talk to us again soon.
Thank you so much for your time. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll just close out here, and I'll welcome everybody to come back and visit with us next Monday, 10:30, same time, same place. Go ahead and go to learn more about the St. Paul Restaurant Resiliency Program. Please visit ncxt.co to get more information there. We've also launched a new website to help operators who are trying to hire. It's called nostresshospitality.com, and currently we have 5 templated job descriptions that your restaurant can use to post a job online. And there's also a link there to post your job on the Ramsey County Future Finder website, which is something that's marketing to job seekers. And so you can take the job application template, job description template from nostresshospitality.com, create that job and put it on the Ramsey County Future Finder website, and then have job seekers come apply for your job there. So go check that out, nostresshospitality.com. Thank you again, David. Have a great week, and we'll see you all next week.